I got an idea.
So, welcome to another episode of Electric Sheep Podcast. We've changed our name back to our original name now. And anyway, so I would like to introduce Jeremy Rubier, a filmmaker based in Tokyo. Welcome, Jeremy.
Welcome to me.
All right. So Jeremy, what's your job and how do you spend your time?
My job touch in each and every level of filmmaking. I write, I shoot, I edit, I compose music, I do sound design, grading. I lack one big skill, which is VFX. I don't do that. Sorry for the bad word. I don't do VFX. Otherwise, I'm a overall. I'm trying to put an artistic touch and my touch to each and every aspect of filmmaking. So depending on the project, I usually direct, shoot, and edit, and time to time writes, compose the music, or it's depending really.
Yeah, I looked at your reel and I looked at your personal reel and I looked at your production company reel. You have like a massive amount of work. You got music videos, short films, commercials, documentary, sport. Wow, it's just a massive amount of work.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So what's your background and when did you move to Japan?
I grew up in Paris, spent my youth here until 14 or 15 years old, then moved to Montreal, where that's in Montreal that I started to really make movies. That's where I became who I am. So I consider Montreal my home, even though I lived full-time in Montreal about 5 years. Right. I became Canadian. And at 17 years old from Montreal, I went to Japan the first time, and 21 years old, a second time to study. And then after traveling the world, living all around Asia, I finally settled down in Tokyo at 26 or 27, something like 6 or 7 years ago.
So what brought you to Japan when you were like 26?
Oh, 26 doesn't really matter because the real love was at 17 when I first moved in Japan with a Japanese family. I finished Final Fantasy VII. I was blown away. Then I started digging Japanese culture. Then there were this exchange program. So I moved to a small Japanese village at 17. Small city next to Nagoya, like 45 minutes from Nagoya. I lived with a Japanese family. It blew my mind. I had a little camcorder. I shot something there, and this film, a little short film I did in Japan at 17, allowed me to enter the best cinema school in Canada, one of the best, Concordia film production.
I know Concordia, yeah.
Yeah. The film production program is quite hard to get in, so that's when I felt in love with Japan. I was with my camcorders. I was starting to shoot, so that was really great. So 17 years old. I came because of Japanese culture, of course. Final Fantasy VII was just one of the elements that attracted me. Then at 21, Concordia University kind of sucked. I don't think people should go to school to study cinema. If they want to make movies, they should take their iPhone and take movie. I thought it was really pretentious, way too artsy for me, not practical at all. Basically, you learn how to ask money from the government. That's not how I see cinema. So I left university to study 1 year at Temple University in Japan. For my last year, because I told them that I didn't want to finish at Concordia. So that
you transferred your program to Temple?
Yeah, I used all my extra credit and Temples. So I finished the third year in Temple, and it was brilliant. Even though Temple has not the best communication cinema program, but because it's in Japan, I believe that people, foreign students and exchange students, have more inspiration from their back country. So you end up doing better job in a school that it has no reputation in communication just because we're in Japan. So 21 years old. And then after I traveled the world, and I just wanted to come back to Japan when I will be ready to settle down. And around 26, 27, I finally came back, and I never left.
Great. So did you have like, Jeremy, did you have like an image of Japan? Like a lot of people move here because they're interested in anime or manga, or some people are, crazy about the food. And what was your kind of thing?
No, at 17, I had no image of Japan. I just thought it would be freaking weird. And I was looking for a place that could. At 17, I had already traveled quite a bit. I've traveled with my parents, and I travel alone from a really young age, as legal as, I mean. So I wanted something as different as possible. You have to imagine I moved to a small city. So it was completely weird. I was living in I did all the matsuri. I met some sumotori. I mean, it was into deep Japanese experience. At this time, I was actually pissed I wasn't in Tokyo, but I realized now that it was a blessing to be in a small village.
Yeah, you can get the Tokyo experience after.
Exactly. At 17, that will have not been that fun anyway. It's a big city. So no, not really. I didn't have any apprehension. So to me, it was mind blowing how different it was, and it was a place where my creativity was unlocked completely. That was really, really good. When I was losing hope in film school, Japan gave me hope at 21 or 22, and at 17 just sparkled something in me, and I was like, that's where I need to make art somehow.
Definitely. Japan is a very inspirational place for sure.
Yep.
I recommend anybody come here who needs a fresh start or anything.
Exactly. And you're alone. No one break your balls. Western people have a tendency to talk too loud. They have a tendency to enter your private space. As an artist, sometimes you want to be alone with your thoughts. And even in a big city like Tokyo, I'm able to be alone with my thoughts. No one bother me. Maybe because I grew up in Paris and I used to live in New York and in places where everyone do their best to bother you. They're like on purpose. They want to bother you, from the taxi driver to just people in the street you don't know. Japan allows you to be completely in your world, which is really good for creativity. I don't think it's really good in terms of the social aspect of it when you live here. That's another story. Not as good. I miss being bothered time to time when I don't want to be creative and just live a normal life.
So Jeremy, how long did it take you to get yourself accustomed to Japanese culture and start? I'm not sure about your Japanese level skills or learning Japanese.
It took me like 24 hours. I'm a sponge. I've been traveling since I'm really, really young, all around the world. I adjust to any culture as quick as it gets. Actually, the moment I land somewhere, I don't have any apprehension. I just take things as they go, and it took me literally 24 hours. But understanding the train system took me a while. That's really that was the issue when I arrived, because I kept missing I was studying Japanese in Nagoya and I was going back. I kept missing my stop, and it was express train, so I was going way too far. That took a little bit because Google Translate didn't exist. It was 2007, something like that. So it was still tougher than now. Now, I mean, now you can't get lost anymore. I mean, it's really improved in terms of English speaking and stuff. So
exactly, everybody's had that experience where you fallen asleep on, you missed your stop, and then it's like a pinball machine. You go back and forth.
I mean,
you look at the map. The map looks like a spaghetti bowl.
Express, semi-express, intercontinental express. I mean, the number of express is incredible. It's 4 to 5 on some line. 4 to 5 different train, and you're like, how am I supposed to know what the hell is going on? But I mean, when you understand how to navigate in the train system of Japan, you realize that it's the greatest country in the world in terms of exploring. I mean, it's incredible. It's absolutely fabulous.
All right, Jeremy. So I did a little research on you. I noticed you've established a production company in Tokyo called DMBZ. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
What does that actually stand for?
Oh, Dame Boys.
Okay.
Let's say that it's impossible to do production in Japan by the book. If you respect the rule, you are going to end up doing things that are absolutely boring that will be on Japanese TV. There's no way to shoot something real good without a humongous budget by the book, because we accept artistic project and project that are completely crazy that no one else want to do because we think it's challenging, we have time to time to go on a gray zone of production. As long our philosophy is, as long as we're not bothering anyone, as long as we're not damaging anything, we can shoot anywhere and do what we want, because it won't have any repercussion. And Japanese people sometimes rather close their eyes and apply rules that they perfectly know are absolutely absurd, and they're like, oh, I didn't hear what you said, and they walk away because they're like, we know it's absurd. This piece of garden there, you want to shoot there, there's a tree, shoot there. So that's why we are Dame Boys. That's what it stands for. We were pushing this mentality. It's really important, and that's something we try to push also for young Japanese filmmaker, because otherwise they're going to be stuck in a box and shoot the same place at the same hours. So yeah, Dame Boys, we never, that's also, we never say dame. We never say it's impossible. We never say it's forbidden. We just, when we talk to clients or collaborators, we like, partners, we're like, yeah, we try. Why not? Well, Japanese production company will say, dame, you're shooting this shrine, dame. And when they don't even try, I mean, it's dame just by definition. Just the concept is dame.
So for the people at home who don't speak Japanese, dame means basically no.
Forbidden, no. Don't do that. It's forbidden. That's why Dame Boys, other people were like, no. And once again, we do it in the most respectful way. We never bother anyone. We always ask before anything. And yes, it's true, we're using the fact that we're foreigners to get away with things. And but we all speak Japanese. We all really try our best to represent Japanese culture. All my movies are in Japanese. I really try to embrace the culture and to represent it the best I can. And I know using the gaijin card, which gaijin being foreigner, gaijin card, the foreigner card, to do something illegal is a terrible thing to do. That's why we're going to gray zone, and we do it in the most respectful way. And if it's sometimes weird, it's just because we want to shoot something really Japanese, really special, that at the end of the day will make Japan shine. It's always in this direction. So we are really careful, of course, because we are not in our home here, and Japanese are extremely nice. So we always try to be as nice to them because they are really sweetheart at the end of the day.
Excellent. Great philosophy. So about your production company, when did you establish that, and how did you establish that? Like, you have a production team and you have different roles for everybody?
We have our office in Newton G. We have a nice little office with a roof. It's nice. Basically, I came like in 2016, something like that. I met a couple of production companies. I was freelancing. And one day I met this man named David Diciembre. He was in Japan for like 15 years. He was working for Resident Advisor, which is a website organizing event. And he loved to drive, so he was fixing a lot of shoots with one of his friends. And he was fixing, just driving around, finding location. He loved to do that. He was organizing big event before. He was in the event nightlife. So for there's only one step in between event production and production. Shooting is just a big event or a small event that you need to coordinate. So I met him, we worked together, and we realized that we had the same mentality, which was like, no matter what, let's do it. No matter the budget, like our goal was never the money. We always wanted to do cool stuff. And so I was like, okay, you're a producer, I'm a director, I'm kind of good at gathering people. Let's take Artem, which is another really talented filmmaker, my friend Gandalf, my friend Alan from China. Let's take a bunch of people I love and make a company together. They can work on their own, but we're going to represent them, and we're going to build a team of producers to do our things our way. And now it's working quite well. And we have our fees, we have 2 employees, and other friends are not employed. We have like employee, and otherwise it's only friends. We're just really good.
So you hire freelancers. So you have your regular employees, and then you for projects you hire out people.
Yeah, we hire out people. We have like a kind of family of people, Japanese and foreigners. Of course, in terms of directing and director of photography, we go more with foreigners because it goes faster and the way we work is similar. But there is a new wave of Japanese DOPs and creative that we work with now because we're in Japan, and it will be absurd to only work with gaijin. But we're trying our best, and our producers are Japanese and foreigners. We try to do a blend of people. Mostly people who don't want to work in a big production, Japanese production company where it's like the army, you know?
It's crazy. So yeah, so you touched on this a little bit. Like, what are some of the challenges of working in a production company in Tokyo as a foreigner? Like,
I mean, I'm lucky. I'm on the creative side of things. I do whatever the fuck I want. Talk to my partner David, who is a producer, who does the paperwork, who deals with all the bad stuff. He will tell you it's not easy. As a creative, I mean, to be honest with you, as a creative person, and that has nothing to do with a production company, but when you're creative, the hardest thing is access in Japan. My style of filmmaking, fiction and documentary, is super intimate, and getting access to intimacy of people, to more than the exterior, is something that is so freaking hard. You leave me one day in Cuba, like I did before, in Haiti, where I shot a documentary, in Africa, where I shot in Africa. Oh my God. I'm invited to people's place. They become my friend. I'm shooting something so real and intimate, but doing the same in Japan, going through the production, especially when you work for like with professional sport people, with some establishments, some big companies, getting access other than the corporate form is really, really hard. Going through corporate stuff is so hard, and sometimes it makes us give up, because most of the subject of our films and project are Japanese. We rarely shoot foreigners. I'm not interested in foreigners. Half is okay, but my project are in Japanese. It's about Japanese people. I don't give a fuck of this blonde guy from Germany traveling in Japan and doing some vlogging. No, that's not what we do. But sometimes I'm like, it's like they don't want us. They don't give us any access. And actually what it takes is so much patience, so much dinner, so much thing. I'm impatient, so my producer do that for me, but it takes
it's a
so
lot
many
of patience, right?
yeah, and a lot of, it's really tedious, but it's a lot of thing, like some approach need to be exactly that way, or it will never work.
Like
And
the bank.
oh no, trust me, after 3 years in Japan, I started getting ulcers. That's because of post office, bank, and paying and tax office.
But it's the same culture all the way through the society when it comes to administration, right?
Oh, that's hell, and it has nothing to do in the creative world. That's my issue. That's why Japanese cinema sucks right now. I mean, let's be real 2 minutes. Drive My Car is cool, but that's it, because they are stuck in a system, and Korean are not.
Yes,
That's
Korean
why
cinema is great these days.
Yeah, because they are not stuck in a box, and in order for that to change, it will take 20 more years for all the elder to die. Sorry to say that, but people in charge to disease to not be around, or young people to be like, I'm doing it my way. Like what's his name? One of the dude when made a zombie movie.
Oh yes, I forget his name, but
He's amazing.
One Cut of the Dead.
He's amazing. No rules, no budget. I'm like, yeah, yes, Japan, yes. You have tons of stories. Do movies with your cell phone. Don't follow any of those rules. We're not at a bank. We're doing arts. So like to me, working the same way on those fields is just and the thing is, as a director, I need to be part of the production, and that's where I lose my mind most of the time. So I'm trying to stay away, because I'm like, this is nonsense. But I'm not home. I mean, it's my new home, but it's how it is.
Yeah, right.
I will never ask Japanese to adjust, but I will believe that by changing those super strict system in the creative world, they will do better stuff. Exactly. It will improve the quality of the production in Japan. That I'm sure. Now, who am I to ask them to change? Be you, it's your country. I mean,
right. You're right though. Like, there's a lot of ideas are generated. All the cool ideas are here in Japan, and then you see like a lot of like Westerners. They take those ideas and they remake them, in the West. But a lot of ideas actually come from Japan.
Oh yeah, brilliant. And you see, in animation, when it's not about real human people, they lose their mind. And then it's amazing. If they were as creative and crazy in a live action movie that they are in animate and manga, I mean, because they are constantly innovating and they are not restrained. They are not in production with human to human to human. It's where it gets, but even though animate is human to human, but I feel they can really, that's where Japanese to me shine, is when they create those worlds that are not theirs. But
Right.
in Japan, that's tough. That's really tough.
Good point. Good point. So Jeremy, what kind of clients do you typically take on? I had a quick look through your production site there. I noticed a lot of Chinese uh productions, or at least Chinese in your work there, like the
Yeah. I
Gundam
mean, I used
thing,
to
the
live in
Urban
Shanghai.
Decay.
I used to live in Shanghai, so I spent some time in Shanghai. I met so many people. I was making movies in Japan. I made my first real short movie in Shanghai. It won Best Film at Fantasia Film Festival. It was a big success. So I've got contact in China, but I got any kind of client. Right now, I'm shooting a 4-part series documentary for FIFA about women's soccer in Japan. First episode is going to be released next week. We're also shooting a lot of capsule for NBA. Strangely enough, these days, it's a lot of sport-related documentary, which is really strange. I just came back from Switzerland. We're shooting commercial for watch Dubuis high-end watches. Funny enough, I managed to gather our intern from 2 years ago and one member of our company, Gandalf, in Switzerland. They were around to shoot the commercial with me. So our company is really like, usually before COVID, going all over the place. We don't have, Japan is a base, but we go all around. So there is no kind. There is no kind. I mean, as long as those clients leave me time to do my own project. Right now, I'm writing a movie in 6 parts. Tomorrow I'm gonna have my. I met some kids and I made a documentary about them. It's gonna be on the platform named Dazed, huge platform of documentary. So as long as my client leave me freedom to not work 24/7 and to have time to do my own project, I'm happy. I mean, it's, even though nowadays, I mean, I only pick stuff that are about human people. I mean, I don't give a shoes. The watch thing, I did it because I needed money and because I could work with my friend, and it was about the people making the watch.
Right.
So the human aspect is essential to me. And not human like fashion. I don't do fashion. I couldn't care less about models and the fashion industry. I honestly think hope is going to disappear soon. It's wasting resources as hell. I don't care of cars. God bless. I hate those cars. So there's a lot of things nowadays I won't do because I can. I don't have to. I can do what I want. So I go for the people. I go for the people and passionate people. That's why I think I do sports related stuff these days, because those people are crazy, unidirectional, and they're obsessed by what they're doing. So as long as I'm shooting passionate people, I'm happy.
Yeah, like when I first came across your work was a long time ago, actually. I remember seeing this piece, The Night Rider.
Oh yeah, with JK. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool, man. I was just like, what is this? And just the narration and just the dude going on the skateboards through Tokyo. I think that was my very first, like, of course I didn't know you back then, but that was the first time I encountered your work, and I thought it was really cool.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's the thing. It was cool. My style have changed. I've done cool stuff, but the thing is, the lack of depth make me a little bit sick because I don't watch those videos. Like those nice, cool videos, it's content. And that's my issue. It's content. You watch it, you're like, hey, it's cool. It fits in the narrative. You can put the logo of a client. But where's the depth? And to me, now that I enter my 30s, I stopped doing those because I know I can do pretty stuff. But if there is no depth, that's why my next documentary is like 30 minutes. It's super cinema verite. It's so much people talking, doing stuff, emotion. Because good music, beautiful image, you start to make people feel something.
But they forget it.
Yeah, they forget. When you watch some idiots talking for hours, it's in your mind and you're going to talk like them, you're going to love them, you're going to learn, you're going to leave something. So that was really nice. This time when I arrived, I was doing those pretty things, having fun with gears. And I'm so happy I did, and especially when it's JK, it's my friends. I was shooting my friends.
Exactly.
But getting older, I'm trying to get away with the pretty stuff that end up in Instagram and content. I hate this word. To me, like influencers are cancers, and influencers are a disease, and content is cancer. I mean, that to me, that those things are so bad
Yeah,
for any creative. It's so
I
bad.
hear you. You know, you mentioned cinema verte. That's something I noticed about your work. It's got that style to it. Which is great. It's very engaging.
We have to. I mean, we to me, cinema and fiction, reality and fiction are the same. I mean, I will shoot a fiction the same way I will shoot a documentary, because there's no frontier between the two things. Even a documentary edited a certain way become a work of fiction. And I realize, and I'm pushing this style in order to always make people asking themselves, what am I watching? How is it real? Like my last movie, Sayo, is about my friend Nagisa, and in her quest to talk to the soul of her sister. And it's with a lot of archive footage of them as kids. You never know where you are.
That's great.
And I'm trying my best to build this style, and to make people feel stuff that way. I mean, that's what I want to do.
So with that being said, like, do you have like a shoot that was like super memorable, like that you've been on recently, like that you really kind of sticks in your mind, like, wow, I really enjoyed this shoot? And
Oh yeah, for sure. What should I add recently? I was like,
I know you sent me the 48-hour film challenge. That looked pretty cool, actually.
48 hours. Which one?
Yeah. You had the Sony, you had the Canon R3, and you made I think part of it was a music video.
Yeah, we did 2 music videos in 48 hours. Yeah, that was not a challenge. It just happened that I wanted to do those music video, and they were stepping on each other. Yeah, that was memorable. That was really nice and fun. I hope it's gonna help the career of those people. No, memorable shooting 2 years ago, not last summer, the summer before. I went through 48 US states with my friend Keith Moriko. He was on a bicycle. Wow. And he broke the world record. He crossed 48 states in bicycle in 31 days during Black Lives Matters and the peak of the pandemic in US. That was memorable. That was quite memorable. And I was like, shit, that's all I want to do. But the struggle now is that we shot that, and now finally we find a outside TV, which is a channel. They want to diffuse it, but not pay for it. But I'm like, but we find a diffuser, and we're talking also to other people. But 2 years almost after, 1 year and a half after the project, I'm still editing and stuff. And when I was shooting that, I was like, okay, what if I can make money out of this project I shot for fun with a random guy? And now I'm trying to earn a living by doing those kind of crazy ass projects. I produce myself, and we try to make it happen. It doesn't really work. It's super hard, but I'm trying to find a structure where I can shoot those crazy documentary or movies, and we actually get the money back or earn a living doing so. That's a little bit the goal of the 30s, but that was memorable. It takes a lot for shooting to be memorable to me, considering that we always work 20 hours a day. We get sick, we fight, we cry, we laugh. Each shooting with me, usually if it's not like that, it's not worth it. We have to go through a wide range of emotion. That's also few people in Tokyo want to work with me, as it gets it gets really challenging. But then your life becomes a movie, and that's the whole point of doing it.
Okay, so that's a good point. So like you said, few people in Tokyo want to work with you. So we have to be careful, of course, when we're interacting with other people, the crews, and we're shooting in the public. So do you ever remember receiving any criticism for what you do on or off camera, Jeremy?
Oh, all the time. Actually, I mean, let's be real 2 minutes. If I didn't have the shitty attitude that I have, I think I will be one of the top 3 foreign director in Japan. By now, if I didn't if I wasn't as crazy as I am, emotional and unstable, I think I will be way further in my career than I am right now. That's for sure. But I wouldn't change for anything. I mean, that's how it is. I I um, I put myself in big trouble a lot of time. I mean, work with me more than 72 hours, and if you don't hate me or you didn't yell at me one time, that means you're an angel. And couple of people, like my partner David,
Right.
he's my friend, one of my best friend. He's the only man who never yelled at me or got crazy. He gets it. My mind goes to places. I've got heavy case of ADHD. When when I'm obsessed by an idea, I get almost autistic about it. And if it doesn't go my way, I get super emotional. And because we almost never have budget on our personal project, you have no idea how hard it is. It's so hard, but because it's super ambitious, no budget, we're super tired, and it gets super out of control. So most producers in Tokyo can't handle me, but the one who can always work with me, and I end up working with the same people who can perfectly handle me. And other foreign director, they can handle everyone, and they are so nice, and they are doing the project I want to do sometime with bigger budget and meaningful too, meaningful and big budget, and no one want to hire me for those one, which is really sad. But I'm on my way to clean my reputation nowadays. I'm sending money to people, send them gifts, apologize,
Gifts.
apologize,
Always the way to go.
apologize for past mistakes. I That's all I can do. I mean, I'm older now. I've got better control, but I burned some bridge, and I'm really sad about it. And for all, if anyone I burned bridge, watch this video. I'm sorry, guys. I was a dick, but the good thing is that I was a dick, but always by care and love for my craft. I was always a dick because I wanted the what we do to be the best possible. It was never personal. It's always
Good
about
intentions.
no, making the best. It has
Yes.
nothing. It was never mean. It was never cruel. It was never abusive. It was just like me losing it because we've been shooting for 72 hours. I've slept 1 hour per night. I'm about to die. I'm gonna pass out.
It's tough.
Not you have to imagine that when it's over, I'm editing and I'm composing the music because there's not enough budget. And then I'm getting feedback from clients, and I'm like, holy moly, I'm not getting paid much. I've done all that. So now I'm delegating more, even though I still enjoy editing and make composing music. But when it's on commercial job, I can't do it anymore. On big commercial job, I'm not editing anymore. I still make the music, toki, but it's just too much because most of the feedbacks of clients are bullshit. And not only is bullshit, but most of the feedback of clients, with lots of super terrible clients in Japan, are not going to be to make the film better. It's going to be to satisfy the need of a boss, or to show your boss, hey, I'm participating in the workflow.
Right.
I
Not
said
worth it.
something. There's no point of me saying something. It's not going to make the thing better, but I did it. Look, boss. And to me, I'm like, you guys are how you say, jeopardizing the project? They're like putting the project,
jeopardizing.
jeopardizing the project. And I'm like, this is not cool. The excellence and the emotion we need to vehicle, that's all that matters. If you do a cool film, no matter what you sell, it will work. The moment people feel that you're selling them something or they give up on the film, it was useless. And a lot of time in Japan, at the end of the year, they need to spend their money because they have budget left. And that's when they spend it on anything. And that's where I'm like, whoa, they are literally making the project worse by making those decisions. And it's so tough on me because I don't know how. I'm not professional. I don't know how to treat a paid project differently than one of my personal projects. I treat all the project equally with the same love and same energy. That's why I shouldn't do any commercial project and only make documentary and fiction, because that's such a waste. I mean, yeah.
All right, Jeremy. So let's bring it back a little bit towards your filmmaking process. So like, what kind of gear do you use? Like, I mean, I know, of course, like you probably use different gear on different projects, but do you have some particular gear that you veer towards that you enjoy to use?
Nowadays on personal projects, Canon sponsor me, so
Mm,
I can get anything for Canon, which is good for documentary, less good for fiction work. So
mhm.
anything documentary related, I'm going to use Canon camera. To me, practicality is all that matters. You want to
Right.
shoot with your iPhone 13? Shoot with your iPhone 13. I need a camera I can put around my neck. That's why
Right.
I love the R3 when I shoot with last time, because it's like a picture camera. The autofocus is incredible. It can shoot raw. I don't need anything else. I want to be able to shoot a movie with a camera around my neck. I
How
want to
about
be able,
lenses?
what?
How about lenses?
That's where it gets tricky. Lenses does lenses does everything. You can have any camera, you're putting some vintage lenses on, it looks like a film, it looks unique, it looks special. If I'm going to shoot something artistic, feel a movie or something, I'm going to put some vintage lens uh, on those 6K, 8K, 4K camera, and it's going to have the sweet, authentic analog look, unperfect look. The focus is going to be unperfect too. So I really like that. I will advise any filmmaker nowadays, you get a camera like a Sony FX6, you can literally shoot a feature film with it, a music video, or anything you want. So many, it's incredible. I mean,
Sony FX6, is that what you said?
FX6 is incredible because it's super versatile, and you can add some stuff, some external recorder to make it reach a cinema level. Um, I am so tired to see that to make a movie you need an Arri Alexa, anamorphic lens, and 5 people working on the camera.
Or red?
Yeah, red. Oh, I prefer red already because red are less expensive, and they anyway. We shot the commercial with 2 Monstro and anamorphic lenses in Switzerland. I'm gonna shoot this weekend for FIFA with C300 Mark III and a C70 because it's really good for documentary. I shot documentary in US with a Blackmagic 4K. It doesn't matter which camera I use. Doesn't matter at all.
Something you put in, something to keep it light, right? Something you can put around your neck, something you can
Yeah, something
keep
I
you
can use.
mobile.
Exactly. I am so tired of how heavy the fiction world is. That's why I'm like, things are getting there now where you can take a freaking Ronin 4D, Ronin D, the new one, to do like Steadicam style movement. And my philosophy, even on feature film, is that let's just use practical gears because we don't have much budget. And sometimes even people with no budget, they spend everything on big cameras and lens. And I'm like, guys, spend it on other things.
Exactly.
It's so not necessary. It's so not necessary.
It just makes things so difficult. Those
It's
cameras are
ridiculous.
heavy.
Yeah, and it's heavy, and it's okay when you have DPs and stuff. I mean, my next film, I've got so many. There's so many good DPs right now in Tokyo, foreigners and Japanese. That he's a king. If my DP wants to use some gears, it's him. If I'm shooting, the more practical, the happiest. To be honest with you.
Right. All right. So let's talk about stress and staying motivated. You seem like you don't have any problems with motivation. You're always like, you seem very high energy. But you sent me that 48-hour film challenge, making 2 videos. You look like so tired. You look like you broke your back.
I did. I did. I did.
So how do you get stressed easily, and how do you manage your stress, Jeremy?
Nowadays I meditate a lot. I do stretching. I do 1 hour bicycle per day. I find my ways. I'm kind of single, so maybe having a girlfriend not as a distressful thing, but as a just someone to having other problem than filmmaking might make my filmmaking problem more little. Like having a kid, for
Yeah.
example, I'll be like, hey, I don't give a
Yeah, change your
the
perspective.
actor is late. I've got a kid, you know. So that's what I do. I breathe. I make sure that the production is on point. Most of my stress is coming to the fact that on a independent project, I don't even have a producer, so everything is on my shoulder.
Producer is important, man.
Yeah, it's terrible. And tomorrow, this 30-minute documentary, dude. Thanks God I met people on Facebook who helped me carrying my gears. But I shot a whole entire week. I edited. I did everything
That looks
because
crazy, man.
yeah, it is crazy.
But fun,
I've
but
got
fun.
yeah, it's fun, and I've got the energy to do it. But I need on fiction project and stuff to have a strong production to make sure that that I'm not having those problems and I just focus on directing and on doing my best. What stressed me the most in filmmaking, and really that makes me cry and kills me, it's missing the sunrise. Because my philosophy of filmmaking is based on natural light, and there is only one sunrise per day. You
Yeah,
miss it,
timing is important.
you miss it, it will never come back. This light was unique. Tomorrow is going to be another light. And after the, anyway, so missing those things are really tough on our moral. And nowadays everyone is late all the time. And I'm not, I'm obsessed with time, especially during production. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm trying my best, man. But I'm getting older, so I managed to be like, hey, it's okay. This is not the end of the world. Because trust me, sometimes missing a sunrise to me is the end of the world. Missing the blue light before is the end of the world. And I will make the whole team feel really bad about it if they, which is not a really good way of working, I think. But especially when no one is getting paid.
Right.
But people are getting paid nowadays in hard projects. But I'm trying my best, man. It's really, really tough. And then when physical problem happened, that was my fault. I broke my back because I didn't stretch the morning. And I was carrying a bag that was like 10 kilograms on my back, full of gears
Not good.
while shooting, because I had to walk my assistant was not there with me when I left my home. Anyway, that was terrible. But it's getting better. I'm less and less alone, and when alone, it's really intimate documentary where I want to be alone. I don't want help. I just want to be with the subject, and the subject is opening to me and giving me love. You know.
So it sounds like you really like the documentaries,
Yeah,
documentary projects.
I love people. I love people. I
Right.
love people. I love spending time with crazy people. I love the crazy people. There is a really nice saying from Korczak. What's the name of this writer who did the trip in USA during the 70s?
Jack Korea?
Exactly. He says that he's only attracted by the crazy. That's the only what makes him trip. And that's the same for me. I love people. No matter who they are, I love spending time with people, capturing their stories, and turning their story with my vision. And to me, that's why documentary is so good, and that's what I want to infuse in my fiction film also, because I love documentary because of the practicality around it. I can do it like that, but I want to move to TV shows and movies and keep this essence, but work
Yes.
with bigger crews, writers, and stuff. But by learning about people and shooting those documentaries, I'm building a knowledge of people that will come super handy when I want to write
Exactly.
or
So
direct fiction.
character is very important, right? The
And they're
films
all
that I
based
remember most are all about character.
they're all based on real people. I'm intimately sure that Wes Anderson character that I love, it's people he met. People he met. They are too good to be not true, you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, this documentary thing and turning it into fiction, that's something I do. The reason being people, and yeah, practice it. It's just practical. You can shoot it with your iPhone and make people cry, you know? Why not?
True. So
Why not?
the filmmaking space keeps evolving, as you know. So now there's like all this NFTs, metaverse, all this kind of stuff. So what do you think about the emerging NFT space and like basically filmmakers, photographers being able to kind of keep rights for their work, maybe make a little bit more profit?
I mean, first of all, the ape. We don't like the ape. The ape is a fraud, and an NFT concept is fabulous. They turn it to something terrible, but NFT is going to change the film industry in a sense that I've always wanted to do crowdfunding, but to me, asking people to give their money for my own enjoyment in exchange for a little poster or a postal card, some bullshit, hell no. But telling people, hey, my movie is an NFT and you own part of it. If we sell it to Netflix, you make money. That's going to revolutionize the whole crowdfunding industry. Because people, they don't give me money. They invest in me. They invest in my talent, and they invest in a project they believe in, and they might make money back. Well, that sounds like a sweet deal.
Yeah.
So
Everybody
NFT,
gets a piece.
exactly. The movie is an NFT. And then it makes it completely different. Then it's a game changer. And it's coming. My next movie, I really want to fund it that way. That's really, 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 really good. I know that souls turn it into this hate business and shitty art, and God knows it's terrible, and they give really bad rep to NFTs. But the tech behind it is game changer, especially if it become a friend green. It has to be. It has to be. We shouldn't waste so much electricity to make them, and to crypto needs to evolve, but the concept behind it is fabulous. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's so many things you can do. You could sell like clips from your film, or the poster could be an NFT, or like basically definitely like different moments in the film could be NFTs. But the thing is, like you said, everybody, if I buy your NFT from your film, and then I sell that NFT, if I have the rights to do that, then I can also make a percentage as I sell it. So everybody gets a piece. So it's great.
Exactly. And it's brilliant. So I'm into that for sure, but I really hate how they turn it, what's going on right now with it, and all those scam around. And I do believe that it's going to turn to film and stuff. Right now, it's heaven for graphic designer.
Exactly.
For photographers, that's heaven, and it's amazing. People are not going to steal your pictures anymore,
and they deserve it.
Artists needs to eat, and they can eat and live out of their craft. It's really harder to consume film and to make film. That's where we are in a different kind of spectrum, and I'm excited to see what's going to come, and I want to be part of the movement. One of our partner, Will, is coming back to Japan 5th of April. He's really big on NFT. He bought an ape. Shame on him. I made fun of him. He already made money out of it, but I'm teasing him. He's younger, and he convinced me, and he explained to me the whole crowdfunding idea, and it's great because I find it so scammy at first, especially because I'm a little bit old school, and I love the physicality of things, especially in art.
Well, there's no more DVDs anymore. DVDs were the way to fund your film
no.
Back in the day.
I don't give a DVDs are dead. Cool.
Yeah, of course.
No, but I love the physicality of painting, of pictures, of I love the people to people thing with art, but art is what you do of it, and I mean, it's the whole NFT concept force you to reinvent anything you learn until now and to rethink everything. If you're born in after 2000, it might come super easily. Even 2010, it might come naturally. Hey, I've got this gun in Fortnite, but this gun is unique. Of course, it has value. They sell already extension and gun and skin in those games forever. It has value. It has as much value as anything. What pissing me out a little bit is sometimes the amount of work they put out of creating it, or creating this house that they sell $500,000 on the metaverse. I'm like, but what's cool is that my company right now, we are specialized in metaverse. We just made a metaverse for a Chinese artist. We are working on I can't say now, but on a huge metaverse linked to what's going to happen in Japan in the next few years. So we're building metaverse where people can go around and experiment art or watch shows, which I think is really great, and it's linked to NFTs somehow. So we are getting really good at it.
Good. And so do you think like how is this whole NFT concept being received in Japan by Japanese clients, companies?
I mean, people say that the Japanese man that invented cryptocurrency.
Yeah, right. Satoshi Nakamoto, right?
Exactly. I mean,
he's Japanese, right? Supposedly.
He's Japanese. I mean, Japanese love their cash, eh? They love their liquidity. They love their 10,000 yens. When in China you can buy cigarette, old ladies gonna sell you cigarettes with WeChat. Japan is really late on that, but yeah, it's gonna move forward. I mean, it has to, and it's a good thing, especially for poor Russian people. I mean, I'm against the war, anything you want, but the poor Russian guy who has a business selling clothes in Russia right now, and he can't do shit. Crypto is gonna save his ass. There's no way around. He needs crypto. So Venezuela, Cuba, all those places who have so much US pressure, they need to live. People need to live. They have nothing to do with politics. They need to live. So yeah, it's gonna open so much door. And I just wanted to pollute less. And and the philosophy of my work right now, my next movie is called Free Yoshi. It's about a dude who just is stuck in the metaverse, and we need to free him and to make him realize that free Yoshi, we need to to make him. I'm writing it right now. It's brilliant. We need to make him realize that, dude, go in the forest, enjoy life. People buying NBA cards, NFT. We're creating new needs, and I'm like, do we need that shit? Do we need that right now? The
So
world is
free, so free Yoshi is kind of like a metaphor for life. Like a lot of people being stuck in the rat race, like, you know, like get out of the office, get into nature.
Yeah, that's like the theme of my movie also. Get spiritual. I'm doing research on Sufism, on Kabbalah, on Shingon. My last movie, we went to a Buddhist temple and shot a crazy ceremony, part of the fiction film, but it was not with an actor. And I'm super spiritual, and I believe that we are going in a super bad tangent right now. NFT being part of a bigger bad thing going on to the world. In this way, I'm kind of an anarchist, and I believe capitalism world should fall, and that's why I don't want to do commercial anymore. And NFT is, at least NFT, if it doesn't use too much energy and pollute, it's not something we use resource to create.
No,
if we manage to make it eco-friendly.
It's
so
just intellectual capital.
At least we're not. It's not a pair of shoes or a expensive watch, but the way it's used right now, I'm like, do you need those NBA card and those the shit that you're buying? You know, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure if it's gonna make anyone happier than they are. They should go to the forest and pray and take some acid. I don't know, man. But they should not. They should do other things.
All right. So, my last question here. So future plans as your production company grows, how have your goals changed, and what do you hope? Like, what basically, you know, what are you working on now, if you can say? And
of course, the metaverse thing is good. The 6-episode movie, like kind of a TV show, because I think cinema is kind of dead. I love the format of making a movie in 6 episodes. It's way better. I wish that in the future, and we're doing more and more on that, we're producing 2 feature film right now with other foreign director in Japan. It's amazing. If our company can only produce documentary and fiction film from director from abroad and local director, and helping gaijin director grow ourselves and make a living out of our own production,
that would be great.
I'm set. That's the only goal. Living completely the commercial world, doing 1 or 2 commercials per year to pay the bill and to take holidays in Bali. But outside of that,
a good plan.
Outside of that, we do more and more DMBZ production, DMBZ original, and it's amazing. And that's what we want to do. And we are developing that and keep doing as much personal projects as commercial. I'm so tired of people being like, hey, I don't have time I don't have time to do art and stuff. I need to pay the bill. Yo, dude, I know you have kids and stuff, but you make a lot of money. It's enough. Do cool stuff. And I'm happy to see other production company in Tokyo doing that. The gaijin community is on fire right now. When the filmmaking group on Facebook or all around, it's getting there. More and more creative people doing cool stuff, influencing the Japanese market, fusioning with it. That's what we want. I would love to. I've been asking, and if someone watched this video and can help me, I've done a workshop in Montreal and in Berlin. I want to do a 1-week workshop. Canon accepted to sponsor it, by the way. We take a room, we get camera, a bunch of Japanese young director. I want young Japanese director to come to see how I work, how they can make movie differently. In 1 week, we make a movie.
Sounds amazing. Sounds great.
Yeah, I've got everything in place. I just need to organize it.
You can pull that off.
Yes and no. To get those young, talented Japanese kids to come, that's going to be the issue. I'm going to have a bunch of gaijin coming. That's okay.
Right.
I would love to get half of the class, at least, Japanese kids willing to learn and to make a movie. I mean, it's too much fun in our crazy ways.
So that's a good question. Like, what are on the kids' minds these days in terms of cinema and film? Like, what's the challenge with these guys?
Well, they are being abused by TikTok and stuff, so they have no patience anymore. They're like consuming, and funnily enough, and I'm the same. I think when they watch something, they want to be with a friend, a vlogger or anything, and be with this person for 1 hour and just do something at the same time. They want their mind to be jerked off, like, oh, can do something at the same time. That they don't want to be challenged at all. But there is a counter movement growing, and I believe it's going to take over of kids who want real experience, real movies, more than this content creation. But they really impress me nowadays because I'm doing a lot of things for a long time. But not only they edit and stuff, but nowadays a lot of those kids are also actors. And because they're born with a camera in front of them, they're also good on camera. I suck on camera. I don't look people in the eye. And it's a good and bad thing. They have such a conscious of who they are on camera that they can be great actor. But at the same time, they're scared of doing some shit because of this conscious. And they are also way too politically correct, which makes cinema boring. I'm not politically correct, and I'm super open to anything. I think you should respect everyone, but I also think you should say what you want to say. And even if it's bad, it's going to make people talk and debates. That's not in this society and this whole cancel culture. There's no more debates. It's like it's cancel. And it's bad. We need to talk about issues, and in order for that, we need to do something that is politically really incorrect, and people to be like, that's wrong, and to create a dialogue. If the dialogue is not created and we cancel, it's gonna create some extremists on the other side.
Right. They say the enemy of art is beauty. Sometimes when you just do everything all beautiful, 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 and it just creates no dialogue.
Exactly. Sometimes you just have to be dumb and do something when you think if it's coming from the right intention, do it. It might be wrong, it might offend someone, but if it's coming from your heart and you do it out of good intention, some people will feel it, and some people will. And don't listen to all the attack online, because you're gonna end up losing it. I mean, that's what I'm scared about this generation too. They have such a big social pressure. They can't do shit anymore. You think Tarantino could have done this movie with pressure? You think that with social media we would have missed, and with this comment, we would have missed some of the greatest director.
Right.
That's how it is. So we have a young generation of amazing people with amazing potential. They make VFX. They have everything in hand to be better than us. But don't listen to the comment and do whatever the want without fear. That's the only escape we have, is this art. If one of the first scene of my movie, like a girl die in terrible ways, that is really scandalous. But I wanted to say something about it, and it's anyway. It makes sense in the movie, but people are gonna be like, "Holy, why?" You'll get why, but don't jump on me without seeing the whole movie, and just understand why it goes that way. And I will never be scared of doing that shit. My next documentary I'm releasing tomorrow, those kids are talking shit about Japan, and they say shit and they do things, and I'm like, and that's why I'm so proud of the documentary I'm going to release tomorrow. And the big platform said, "Oh, we're going to release right away," because those kids are not politically correct, and they do whatever they want, and that's lovely.
Looking forward to see that, man.
Oh, please! It's called Star Kids. It's going to be on Dazed. Dazed being a huge platform, more than almost 2 million followers on Insta. They make really they do something named Nowness, and Dazed. It's a big platform for once. It's really rare, but one of my documentary goes on those platforms. That's cool. That means it's going to be watched. It's going to be appreciated, and
excellent.
And I hope people are going to hate it, love it, and nothing in between, because it's not really interesting otherwise.
All right, Jeremy. So let's end things there. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on our show.
Oh man, thank you so much to have me. It's an honor, and I'm so happy that you're curious about creative in Japan. It's essential.
And yeah, for sure. And one last thing, how can people find you? Social media or websites? And I'll link to everything.
Yeah, my name. I'm active on Insta. I'm active on Facebook. I'm a boomer. I mean, I've got my YouTube channel too. I need to work on it. I don't really have time. I'm so busy. But yeah, you can find me on Insta, Facebook.
I think you'd be good on YouTube. Like just talking to the, like you said, to the next generation. But obviously you don't want to get too many projects.
No, and I'm busy, man. I'm on 7 projects at the same time that I'm editing, shooting, composing the music. I mean, I'm a pure creative. I would rather work with platform that showcase my work than be every day, "Hey guys,
You
What's
don't want
up?
to create the platform, like,
Oh,
all for it.
and to be honest, I'm so busy. I'm not a vlogger, and I should I might do one video per week, but if it doesn't work, I'm gonna be so crushed. Maybe I should not do
Okay.
it.
All right. So as I said, thank you so much. And I'll link to everything in the description.
Thank you so much, dude. Have a sweet evening.